This is how much revenue I earned as an indie game developer in 2025. Hey, I'm Kyle. I made a game called Farewell North that released all the way back in 2024, and I'm currently working on my next game, but more on that later. I'd like to recap some of the highs and lows of 2025, but I know most of you are here for the financials, so let's just get right into them. So as you can see, the vast majority of revenue does come from game sales. I would definitely say I'm a much better game developer than YouTuber. I still have no idea what I'm actually doing here, so this is no surprise at all. Oh, and you see that ominous red line of doom? More on that later. So I really wasn't sure what to expect this year considering I didn't release a game. I really love when other indie devs share the results. There's so much you can learn, but usually it comes a week or two after release. There aren't a lot of data points about how much ongoing revenue you can see more than a year after release, after that initial spike has really fallen away. Thankfully though, Farewell North still seems to be doing really well over a year on, and there are a few reasons for this, but first let's define what this number actually means. So I'm based in Scotland, but I am using US dollars here for consistency, and this number is the net revenue, which means it's the money that actually lands in my business bank account after Steam and consoles take their cut, after the publisher takes their share, all little things that kind of nibble away at your revenue. But there are still taxes to pay on this, and if I want to actually pay myself a salary, then there are even more taxes and fees and all kinds of nonsense that you get to pay on this. So it's what I actually got paid as a business, but do keep in mind this is definitely not all profit. Farewell North cost over $100,000 to make, and thankfully it did break even, but I am also spending a lot of money developing my next game. Between contractors and all the other costs that go into running a business, this money gets eaten up pretty quickly. Probably the biggest financial contributor is simply that reviews continue to be very positive. We're at 95% positive on Steam, with similar numbers on consoles, and our refund rate is only 4%, which is quite low, especially for a $24 game. So that tells me that we're really finding the right audience and setting the right expectations so that the people who play Farewell North are loving it, which is not only financially important, but it also just means the world to me. I still read every single review. I actually have a Discord bot that notifies me as soon as they're posted, which is definitely not healthy. I suspect that these reviews are really helping drive a lot of the ongoing sales, but we also have 120,000 wish lists, which get emailed anytime we go on sale. And another huge contributor was actually getting 2 daily deals on Steam and a Humble bundle this year. So a huge thanks to my publisher Mooneye for getting all those. Each of these events gave us a really nice spike in revenue, so definitely push for these. Ask Valve, ask Humble, ask whoever you can, however you can, to get these features because they do make a huge difference. Because of the higher price point, it also gives us the ability to slowly but surely discount the game while still making decent revenue. And this conservative discounting means we're preserving the long tail of the game. But it's not all game sales. YouTube does bring in some revenue as well, mostly from sponsors and Patreon, and I'm really grateful for all of that. Honestly, this extra revenue lets me be much more creative with my games, whether it's working with incredible musicians or filming live action scenes for my next game. I am eternally grateful for this support. The ad revenue, though, is quite laughable. I mean, I earn more money in interest than from YouTube ads, literally doing absolutely nothing versus the dozens and dozens of hours put into YouTube. Believe it or not, I do put a ton of effort into YouTube and the Patreon bonus videos that I do, but aside from a few standout videos, my channel's never really taken off, and I don't know that YouTube has really been worth it from a purely financial point of view. Where I do see YouTube being really worthwhile is that Farewell North wound up being a much better game thanks to all the feedback and the community that built up around it. Plus it's fun to dream of one day having that beautiful silver YouTube plaque before the site is inevitably overrun by AI slop, but at this rate, I think the slop is definitely winning, so please subscribe. You'll also notice a substantial portion of revenue came from grants this year. This is something I'm really excited about, and that's the UK Games Fund is helping fund my next game with a £30,000 grant, which is roughly, I think, 40,000 US dollars, but not all of that was paid in 2025, so I've only included that portion here. Grants can be a huge boost, especially for small teams or solo devs, so I definitely encourage you to look at whatever local grants are available to you based on where you live. They can definitely be a lot of work, but they can also be quite substantial and take a lot of risk out of your game, especially if it's a true grant that doesn't involve any repayment or revenue share. Definitely check the fine print on that. Typically, grant applications will want revenue projections over the next several years, a long-term vision for the studio, revenue and expense breakdowns, all that good stuff. A bit of business acumen can be a big help here, so if you don't have that, then perhaps talk to your accountant and see if they can help you out, or check out the sponsor of this video, Brilliant. See, Brilliant helps you excel in math and computer science, and with their courses on data analysis, it's a really great way to pick up some of the skills needed to make informed decisions around your business. With visual, interactive problem solving and personalized practice, Brilliant is designed to be highly effective. You learn through active problem solving, a method that research has shown to be far more powerful than watching lectures or videos. I'm currently on a 30-day streak with their calculus course, and it's really helped me solidify my understanding of the concepts in a way that just never quite clicked before. It has a perfect mix of interactive problems, motivating challenges, and encouragement to keep you moving forward. Brilliant personalizes learning for you. It starts you at the right level based on your background, designs practice sets and reviews personalized for you, and helps you advance at your ideal pace. To learn for free on Brilliant for a full 30 days, go to brilliant.org/KyleBanks, scan the QR code on screen, or click the link in the description. Brilliant's also giving you guys 20% off an annual premium subscription, which gives you unlimited daily access to everything on Brilliant. So all in all, it was a really great year, but I do want to draw your attention to that ominous red line again. This is the trend line. So while I'm really happy with how Feral North has been performing a year after release, clearly, it's not going to last forever. So you do need to keep putting out games or find alternative revenue sources if you want to make this sustainable. Beyond the financials, there were some other standout moments this year as well. I don't think awards really have any impact on sales, but we were lucky enough to win some big ones this year. John, a composer for Feral North, won an Ivor Novello for the soundtrack, which put us on stage in front of U2, Bruce Springsteen, Ed Sheeran, Charlie XCX, a whole bunch of other celebrities. I remember actually standing there looking out at the front row as John delivered his acceptance speech and just thinking how unbelievably insane it was to think that an indie game brought me here. It was a huge moment, one of my favorites this year, and I'm still just so happy for John. For my side, I was lucky enough to be selected as a BAFTA Breakthrough and win Best Narrative at the Debug Indie Game Awards, which was super cool and just a really great way to cap off the Feral North journey. Beyond Feral North, I was mostly heads down prototyping several ideas and then diving straight into development of my next game. It's crazy to say this, but it's already coming towards the end of its development, and I haven't even announced it yet, but that will come very soon. A few familiar faces from Feral North are returning, including John, who's doing the score and the sound design, and I'm just really excited to see how people play it. I'm also very, very terrified. It couldn't possibly be more different from Feral North, but hopefully when people play it, they'll see that there are some common threads there. Before we get into what went wrong this year, I also want to mention that one of 2025's biggest wins was just improving my work-life balance. Towards the end of Feral North's development, I was really in a bad place. All I did was work, and it was getting to be quite unhealthy. This year, I've been much more conscious about stepping away, getting out, and actually exploring this country that I love so much, rather than just making games about it. Went skiing with some game dev friends, took a trip up to Orkney with my wife, made some art, did some woodworking, and just generally enjoyed life. But 2025 was also far from perfect, and it kicked off really terribly with the loss of Barney back in February. I don't need to tell you how devastating it is to lose a dog, and the irony of spending 4 years making a game about the love of a dog just for years to pass away right after release was definitely not lost on me. We're coming up on a year since he passed, and looking back, if anything positive can come from the death of a dog, it's perhaps the reminder to spend more time with the ones who are still with us. Barney was 15 when he passed, and Beans is 15 now, so we're just making sure to give her so much love and attention every day. She just bagged her first Monroe this year. She's still going really strong, knock on all the wood, but my wife and I are just very conscious not to waste a moment, and I will gladly take time away from work to spend more time with her, even if it means delaying a game. Anything else I could talk about now feels like pretty small potatoes compared to losing Barney, but in the interest of honest self-reflection, here are a few quick things I do wish went a little bit differently this year. First off, there were 2 other grants I spent a pretty significant amount of time on that would have been my vision for the next 3 to 5 years of the studio rather than just the next game, but I was unsuccessful in those and just lost a whole lot of time on them. Speaking of lost time, I talked about this in the financial section, but when a YouTube video doesn't perform, which is unfortunately not a rare occurrence on my channel, it's just a huge waste of time that would have been better spent just working on my game. I like YouTube, I enjoy it, I really want to make it work. I just don't seem to have that magic touch, so it might be something I need to have a hard think on soon. I'm still committed to continuing YouTube at least through 2026 though, so you haven't gotten rid of me just yet. Lastly, I'm still putting too much of my personal self-worth into my games. I've talked about this before, but after Feral North and how difficult that last year of development was, I vowed to separate myself from my games, but that's been a lot more difficult than I'd really care to admit, and it's something I definitely still need to work on. Looking ahead to 2026, my main goal is to announce and release my second game. I've got a date in mind, I've got a plan to announce it, I'm working with a PR firm for this, but I'm just waiting for a few emails to come in before we can really put that plan into action. I expect that the initial release will be just Steam this time. I don't think I want to do another simultaneous launch on Steam and consoles like I did with Feral North. That was just a lot. The plan is to release on Steam, and then if it's well received and there's interest, maybe release on consoles afterwards. I don't know, even as I'm sitting here, I'm not quite sure, so we'll see how the announcement goes. On the personal side, I just want to keep working at improving my work-life balance, spending more time with my wife and my dog, and, really try to improve my mental health and my kind of weird relationship between my view of myself and the work that I produce. That's going to be a long and kind of continuous journey, though. I don't expect 2026 will solve that. So that's 2025 wrapped up. Thank you all so much for the support this last year. I really appreciate each and every one of you. Special thank you to all my patrons, with an extra special thank you to my Ospreys Elegon, Jason Hansen, Ellie Swaley, Justice Lind, Brandon Pung, Peter James, Will Todd, Neil Blakey Milner, Peter Randall, Alex Zed, Jason Lin, Guillermo Engel, Cool Cal Cool, Alan Halstead, Creative HD, and Airy. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye for now.